back to my channel. It's Caramel Coils back again with another video. So today's video is going to be really different. You guys know most of my content is typically natural hair related, so although this is hair related, it's not that type of hair. So if you guys have been subscribing to me since I had about a couple hundred subscribers, you would know that I typically like to wax my underarms at home. So in general, I haven't picked up a razor in years. I usually wax my bikini line, my legs, my armpits, whether I do it at home or whether I go to the salon or get it done professionally. I just don't do razors. So yeah, I uploaded that video a little over a year ago and it got quite a bit of traction. I was actually so reluctant to post that video because it was so up close and personal. You know, I didn't want people to be all up in my armpits, but you know, it actually did really well. And to this day, it's still getting a lot of traction. It's actually getting a lot of traction right now, I guess, because everybody's trying to, you know, do all these things at home because we're all in quarantine and whatnot. So I checked out that video recently and I was just cringing because like I've just grown so much like since then, and the video is just horrible. But you know, some people are still using it and they find it helpful. I just feel like I can do a much better job at, you know, putting y'all on. So basically this is just gonna be an updated underarm waxing routine. So I've literally been growing out my armpit just so I can film this video for y'all. Well, technically it's because I've been in quarantine, so I haven't really had a need to do it, but I really wanted to make sure I could film it for you guys. So if you're curious to see how I went from this right here to this right here, then keep watching. All right, y'all, so to start off, I have my wax warmer, my wax tin by Gigi. I'm gonna go ahead and link everything that I'll be using in this video below in the description box. Of course, I have my wax, no strips needed because this is hard wax. I have my cornstarch and my applicator sticks. So once you have your wax warmer plugged in, you're gonna go ahead and add your wax beads to the wax tin. So I already have some wax in the tin and I probably have enough to use for this waxing session, but I find that the less wax you have in the tin, the hotter the wax gets, making it a lot harder to apply. Temperature control is everything when it comes to waxing, because if it's too hot, it's gonna be a hot mess, which is why I like to start off by setting the temperature at medium. So overall, you can see I have a decent amount of wax in the tin, definitely more than what I need, but like I said, temperature control is everything, and it's a lot harder to control the temperature when you have a small amount of wax in there. So I usually let it sit for about 10 minutes or so, and then I'll come back in and stir it occasionally just to make sure that the wax is being evenly warmed. And you basically just want to keep doing this until you get the perfect consistency. And before you get the perfect consistency, you actually want to turn down the temperature to low so that it doesn't get too hot, because like I said, temperature is everything. And the best way I can really describe the perfect consistency is you want it to be really thick, you don't want it to be too runny. You want to be able to flip the applicator stick around and get a decent layer of wax on the stick, you know, without it running, if that makes sense. Not sure if you guys are familiar with soft wax, but that consistency is way too runny. You don't want it to be anywhere near that runny. You want it to be very thick and gooey so that it's easier to apply, and also so you don't burn yourself. So before we even start applying the wax, you want to make sure that you apply some baby powder or cornstarch to your armpits. I initially was using baby powder, but I heard that Johnson & Johnson, or baby powder in general, was found to have some cancerous ingredients. So cornstarch is supposed to be the healthier alternative. So I'm just going to apply a little bit to my armpits just so that I can, just to make sure that the wax, just to make sure that the wax is able to grip my hair. So, you know, if you, let's say you had deodorant on earlier in the day, your armpits are going to be a little more greasy, a little more oily, and it's going to make it harder for the wax to grip your hair. I'm going to go ahead and grab my wax now that it's at the perfect temperature and apply it, blow it a little bit just to make sure, hold on, and apply it like this. I'm going to swoop it around, get a nice thick layer. You want to make sure that you smooth it out so that there's no gaps in the wax, so that when you pull it off, you don't have pieces of wax that are stuck. It can just be one nice clean rip. I'm probably gonna have to do it twice, but that's okay. We're gonna wait for this to dry, but while it's drying, we're gonna go ahead and make our grip. So we're basically just lifting up the edge of the wax so that once it's fully dried, ooh, girl. So I have a nice little grip here, so I can just rip it right off. Whew, I'm hot already. All right, so it's pretty much dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip it off. Whew, sheesh. And this is how much hair You can see that the hair came directly from the root. And we still have a little bit more hair left. But I love the fact that, you know, I don't have that much wax left over. I mean, this will come off with the second application. So I'm gonna go ahead again. I'm actually gonna apply a little more baby powder because my armpit's a little damp. Not baby powder, cornstarch, because like I said, it's hot. See how it's a nice, smooth layer. It's so important that you guys spread it evenly so you're not spending all day trying to, you know, pick off those excess pieces of wax. Uh-oh. That's what happens when I talk and I do it. Damn it. It's already pretty much dry, so I'm gonna create my lip. So nice and smooth, y'all. It's pretty smooth, but you see there are a couple of hairs right there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those. You can always just grab a tweezer, but this is a waxing video, not a tweezing video, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do that in case anybody else has that same issue, which I'm sure you will. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and just grab a brand new stick, a clean stick to apply it, just so it's nice and smooth and clean. By the way, when you're making your grip, you want to make sure that the wax is dried a little bit. You don't want to make the grip as soon as you apply it because it's still probably pretty wet. It's just going to be super tacky and gooey. Cool. And that's that, y'all. Nice and smooth, clean, no hair left behind. But because I like mine super smooth, I'm just gonna go ahead and pluck the tiny little hairs that it didn't get. You guys probably couldn't even see them on camera, but major difference. Ooh. So this next armpit I'm gonna do, I don't know why I feel like this one is hairier than the first one, but I'm gonna go ahead and get up close for you guys so you can really see what I'm doing. Alright, 1, 2. Oh, sheesh. I promise it's not that bad, y'all. I'm just dramatic. Oh, got most of the hair off. Well, no, not really. I got a good amount of the hair off. You guys can see on here. All right, I'm gonna add a little more cornstarch because this is sweating. That's another thing, y'all. Try and avoid having a moist armpit when you're doing this because it makes it even harder for the wax to grip your hairs if they're wet. So I wouldn't recommend doing this when you're fresh out the shower, for example. So I personally am not really applying it in a specific direction necessarily. I know most people like to apply it in the direction that their hair grows, but because my armpit hair grows in different directions, I kind of just swoop it all around. All right, y'all, my pits are just too moist and the wax is not gripping to these last few hairs, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use my tweezers to go ahead and pluck that. I plucked the remainder of the hairs. Now my armpit is nice, soft and smooth, hair free. This is pretty much all the wax that I used. I have quite a few strips, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my armpits were sweaty, like I said. So if your armpits aren't sweaty, then you shouldn't have to use as much. Then I used about 4 applicator sticks just to, you know, ensure a clean, smooth hair removal. So that pretty much concludes this video. I hope you guys found it helpful, just so you can see the finished results of both armpits. Nice, clean and smooth, especially compared to what they looked like before. And that's pretty much everything. Do you guys usually wax? Do you shave? Do you just leave the hair there? Go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm curious. And if you guys found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see y'all next week.